Hi, my name's Tim. My business is Linda Landscaping, and we have Terrace helping us out today. We're putting in a paving stone patio here and then sidewalk along down the house. So we got everything excavated. Generally we want to get down about 9 inches below our finished grade. And then we'll be bringing in the limestone this afternoon, get the base prepped, and then paving stones later this week. So it was nice having Terrace come and help us with the hauling with the heavy equipment.
So what is a site service? Well, it's an offering that we have for our contractors in the landscaping industry and some others as well, such as plumbing or concrete or electrical. Basically, what it is a contractor of ours may have a job where they don't necessarily have equipment for that job, whether that be hauling the material or excavation or trenching and demolition, something like that. What we offer is a flat rate, and what that means is each piece of equipment has a block price for select block schedule. So whether it's 4 hours or 8 hours, we just have a rate for that equipment, and we don't charge by the hours. The reason we don't do that is the efficiency in determining the cost for a contractor's job. What this means is when they're bidding the project, they don't have to try and calculate down to the minute how long it's going to take. Based on experience, they can just book us for a block schedule. They'll have a set rate, and they can spit their prices and it'll be accurate, and there's no hidden surprises, meaning we don't waste a bunch of time at a job site racking up the bill. This is also another key point. If we're charging by hourly, it's in our best interest to make the job last as long as possible because we're getting paid more the longer we're on the job. Instead, we have a block rate. We're only getting paid for that block, and so it's in our best interest to send out our most skilled operator. And the other great thing is this gives a transparent and guaranteed price. So there's no hidden upcharges that we didn't talk about up front. You already know the price before we even get to site. So everything's taken care of, including the work we provide. We take care of the transportation, the mobilization, the fuel. All our contractors need to worry about is the fine or finishing details once our equipment's rolled off of site. There's no need to worry about securing equipment for rental, figuring out how they're going to transport the equipment, making sure that they know how to operate the equipment, or having a skilled operator ready to do the equipment, doing the fueling for the equipment before and after their rental, doing any maintenance that they need to do on the equipment before they bring it back, or washing it or greasing it, for example. They don't have to worry about any of that. They don't have to have the truck and trailer to transport it or worry about the extra costs for transporting it. They just call us. We take care of all that. We show up with our equipment, take care of business, and they have material they need to haul away. I mean, we have equipment and packages for that as well. So I'm going to take you through what a site service looks like. So what can I tell you about this job? So this is a basic site service. It's an 8-hour block. So this is one of our contractors, Tim from Lindell Landscaping. He has 3 workers that he works with. It's a relatively smaller company, but he's been around for a couple of years now. He has some good experience in how to put in walkways. He has just a straightforward little walkway that's wrapping around the house. And so what he's going to do is he's going to mark out the material. Here you can see he's cutting in the edge for the grass. Once he's cut in that and marked out the areas where excavating, what you'll notice next is J-Bob's got our little walk behind here, and he's going to excavate those areas. Now, Tim still has some helpers. So to save time and to get more work done for Tim, what we do is, because he has helpers, we load their wheelbarrows. So instead of taking one bucket with the dingo all the way around the property and then loading our trailer, what we do instead is they line up with the wheelbarrow, excavate a bucket, load it into the wheelbarrow. They take the material around, next person comes with the wheelbarrow, we load them up. So it's like a production line. And that way we can do an excavation in a matter of an hour or two instead of a day or two. The wheelbarrowing isn't actually as hard of a labor as loading the wheelbarrow or excavating it by hand. So this saves a lot of time and saves a lot of backache. So you can see J-Bob's excavating, and on the bucket you'll notice there's a little pink line. So this line is actually 9 inches below grade. The reason we mark that is it's a typical depth for walkways. Generally, we're going to do a 9-inch excavation anytime we're putting in a walkway. And this allows for a 6-inch base, then your 1-inch screed, and then your material you're going to be putting down is usually 2 inches, and that's where you get your 9 inches from. So we just mark that on our bucket. It's an easy guideline. Then we know what our excavation has to be below grade. Now, if it's in a wide open area, obviously we would stake that out or use a grade laser to make sure we're at the right height. But for a walkway, usually they're 3 feet wide, which is perfect. Our little dingo is 3 feet wide. We just run the walkway with that line, and that's how we know where we have the right depth for our excavation. And the reason why we don't run a larger mini skid is for access. Generally, the purpose for this machine is to get into tight areas while still still reducing labor. Now you could use a mini excavator, but something equivalent to this size is going to take 4 or 5 times longer. So we use a mini skid steer for these small, shallow excavations like a walkway, and the bucket's already 3 feet wide, so we only have to do one pass. And one wheelbarrow is equivalent to one bucket of the dingo. So it's nice and simple and easy and efficient. Because we live in Manitoba, we have a real dense clay base, and you can see with relative ease, the dingo just goes right through the clay. Once we're done the excavation, what we generally do is bring the dingo to the stockpile of aggregate we saw there, the limestone pile, and we'll throw the smooth bucket on there. And what we'll do then is load that material into the wheelbarrows so that they don't have to shovel it in the wheelbarrows. So usually in a site service, we can complete the excavation, haul away the material, and then load up the wheelbarrows and bring the new material in, all within an 8-hour service block. Now this depends obviously on the access to the dig site and the size of the dig site. Now, had we brought, or had he booked us for a skid steer service as well, what we could have done is loaded the material into the trailer with the skid steer. Now, there's ways around that. Of course, what we did on this project is the contractor built a ramp and they just simply ran the material into the trailer with a wheelbarrow. So that is an alternative. Another alternative is we could have brought a smaller trailer, would have been easier to load, and we could load that with the mini, or again, you can wheelbarrow it in. Here the guys go. They're going to take a stab at the ramp and test their manhood. And Chris is a man. Now we can bring aggregate to the property. However, our contractor wanted us to spend more time excavating and then backfilling. And so instead of us spending time hauling in material, he opted for us to do the excavating and the backfilling. So that was our main primary focus on this project. And then the secondary focus was hauling out the materials once the excavation was done. What you'll see here now is Tim is just checking the grades, and he had a reference point by the downspout there. And so he's just putting the peg in now to add another reference point. And this is going to help him determine where the grades need to be for our excavation. This part's very important actually, because if your subsoil is not graded correctly, you could run into shifting issues way down the road after your patio is installed. So you want to make sure that your subsoil is graded correctly. So a breakdown again is, let's say we're doing an excavation for a contractor as an example. We'll show up, do the excavation. Oftentimes a contractor will have us picking up material as well and delivering it, or hauling away material. So we'll coordinate that. Sometimes we're installing it, whatever it is. Once we're done with that, we'll clean up the area and then we'll load up and haul out. Now, as you can tell, this saves our contractors a bunch of time and resources to line up all these extra things, especially if they don't have the personnel or the equipment or both. So they don't have to run around figuring all that out. All they have to worry about is booking in their job and having their guys that are going to be doing the job on site. We show up and we fill in the gaps. A lot of times what the service is great for is a lot of smaller companies that are maybe starting out. They don't have the equipment yet. They only got a couple of guys. And so what this allows them to do is do larger projects. This is also ideal for companies that are growing quickly, in that they may have some equipment already, but it's on a different site and they need to keep up with production. And so they hire us in to fill in. So there's a couple people that site services would be good for if you're considering site services for your project. A site service is not for you if you're trying to bend rules on, or you don't have proper permits, or you're looking to try and pull a fast one. So we look at working with reputable companies who do things the right way and do good quality work and are looking for a long-term relationship. If you hate having grass, just give us a call. We'll make sure to get rid of it all.